Hey guys, Crypto Sunday, and it probably doesn't seem like it, but overall it's been a green week. 2,000 up. Obviously, this has sort of risen up quite high during the week. I think it was at 321 during the week and has come back down. But yes, this is largely due to the ETFs. So, looking at the news. Well, yes, we've seen 11 Bitcoin ETFs approved during the week. We had the fake hacked tweet from the SEC on Tuesday, I think it was, and then sort of immediately them saying, no, 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 that's wrong. And yeah, Wednesday they got approved and started trading Thursday. And you've seen $4.6 billion of volume in the first day of trading. I think this is largely people selling GBDC because that got the most volume, and I can't see why anyone would be wanting to buy that. They've lowered their fee from 2% to 1.5%, so they're still, you know, 7, 8 times the cost of some of the other issuers. So not really sure who they are selling GBTC to, because yeah, why would you want to buy it really, unless they're just selling it at a discount? But they seem to be selling that and buying the BlackRock one, iShares Bitcoin Trust, which is no surprise really. He sort of always said that with their extended reach that they would get a lot of volume. They did say they had 2 billion lined up to go into it, and I don't think they've quite got 2 billion assets under management yet. So whether that takes a bit more time. I always thought this would take a fair bit of time. Maybe not even just a week. Might take a month or two to to start seeing some real people adding some money. They don't do it on day one, and yeah, it's not surprising that we got a bit of a sort of sell the news event on approval. Yeah, I've had all these varying bullish estimates from surprisingly big banks. Alliance Bernstein said that there could be $10 billion worth of flows coming this year, which would be, I'm sure, quite nice. We all remember Tesla buying $1.5 billion worth. That sort of moved the market a hell of a lot. Obviously, we're starting from a higher market cap now, so 10 billion, 1.5 billion buy would do less to the market now, but 10 billion could certainly have an effect. Standard Chartered, a rather large bank, said the ETFs could draw 50 to 100 billion this year alone. That seems incredibly optimistic, but yeah, I think other analysts saying sort of 55 billion over 5 years. I never like predicting 5 years because we've got no idea what will be going on sort of in a couple of years, let alone 5 years. But yeah, it's strange to sort of see all the big banks now jumping on it. And they've just noted the sort of proxies, if you like, the miners, MicroStrategy and Coinbase have all fallen sort of more than the underlying Bitcoin. Well, not underlying Bitcoin, the sort of Bitcoin that it was originally going up based on. MicroStrategy 5.2% down and Coinbase 6.7% down on the day, on Friday, I think this is. So, yeah, it's not really a problem, and we just wait for more to come over the next few months. Got the halving in April, so start to get excitement about that. Sort of 100 days to go, I believe, if you look at the countdowns. So the CoinShares report is from 5 days ago. Won't be tracking any of those ETF products. This just tracks the sort of Canadian and European ones and the futures ETFs and that sort of thing. And you saw inflows of 151 million, mostly into ProShares ETFs. So that is the futures one, if I recall. So yeah, a lot of people betting on the futures as sort of presumably another proxy. And it's 112 million into Bitcoin, so no surprise there. 30 million into Ethereum. A lot of people are jumping on Ethereum now that the ETFs are approved as well. So I'd expect to see another large gain for that in next week's report. And we'll come back to Ethereum doing well later on. Multi-asset up a little, which was sort of not been doing well recently. Solana actually an outflow, although that's obviously been up very much over the last year. But now you're getting obviously year-to-date figures. That is basically 1 week, and month-to-date is again, the same thing, same as the weekly. So yeah, we'll start to see this change over the next sort of few months if Solana carries on doing well. And then sort of smaller numbers, short Bitcoin down slightly, XRP a small gain. 3.7 million into Cardano is not bad though, and 2 million into Avalanche, starting to get sort of smaller ones having some gain. So Cardano has $64 million in assets under management now. But speaking of Solana, we've had the Messari report starting to come out, which is always a good look. This is for October to December for Solana, and some fairly good numbers coming out. Obviously, this is taking into account price for a great deal of these metrics. Market cap up 400%, revenue up 239%. These will be sort of largely just because the token has increased in value, but that's pretty good sort of to see some revenue actually coming in. The amount of SOL hasn't been going down just because the price is going up, so that's good. Transactions up 65%, that's very good. Daily fee payers, so this isn't the amount of fee, this is the number of people incurring a fee. It's up 100%, which is very good. Transaction fee, I guess, is less of a surprise. That's up 917%. Number of validators up 1.8%, just continual rise, which is good. And total staked, obviously, DeFi, TVL, all that is sort of largely based on price. This chart has sort of some of the same figures, but also has 1 month retention. So people who sort of use the network and use it sort of again over a period of a month, which is rather good, 22.8%. It's highest it's been sort of for the past year. Average days active per address is sort of slightly down, but overall sort of not too bad. So this one, you've got total amount staked has sort of not really moved, down slightly from last quarter, but sort of in the same range. Nakamoto coefficient has come down. I believe this is the amount of sort of a measure of decentralization. I believe this is down from the FTX wallets unstaking. They were sort of staked amongst various validators, and that sort of adds to decentralization basically. With the sort of unwinding of all of that account, it's now sort of seen as slightly less decentralized, but I guess the FTX accounts sort of being unwound is a good thing overall, so that's good. And unique validator hosting countries stays the same at 34, so very nice. And this was nice to sort of ward off the people who say it's a broken chain. It's had the longest run of time without an outage, 309 days. It did previously go 283 days without an outage, and there was sort of lots of issues restarting the chain and that sort of thing. People saying it was, broken, and now with potentially Firedancer coming. When they have to, or if and when they have to restart the network, it could switch to Firedancer temporarily, or vice versa. So hopefully we could carry on this for a very long while. So on the ecosystem side, as I say, some of these are down to price. DeFi total value locked is up to nearly 1.5 billion. Again, I guess that does mean people aren't sort of reducing the amount of SOL that they've got on these platforms, despite the price going up. So it is bullish, even though part of this is just down to price going up. Volume up as well. Stablecoin market cap up. That's good. That has nothing to do with price. 1.83 billion. NFT volume is of course down to price, but NFT buyers up 10,000 up to 10,600 for the quarter. That's up 133%. Very nice. And highest it's been since Q4 2022. So very nice. And the compressed NFTs sort of similar to previous quarter, 460,000. So that's a decent number, and sort of something that a lot of people are very bullish on, seeing this as sort of a way into ticketing and sort of gaming, in-game items, microtransactions, and all sorts of things. Being able to sort of do, 100 million or a million NFTs for $100, I think. Yeah, very nice. Active programs down slightly, 3.6%. That's not a huge drop, but has been dropping sort of fairly continuously since Q4 2022, which is unusual if the network's getting a lot more usage. Maybe it is just survival of the fittest, and the programs that are surviving are sort of actually the bigger ones and are doing really well. But new programs is sort of continuously on the decline, 17.4% down. Not necessarily a bad thing. Like I say, you can get sort of a lot of the crappy projects sort of falling off, and the ones that are left grow to be very, very large. Really good to see Deepin pushing on as well. Physical infrastructure is something that a lot of other chains don't really have. You had Render move over to complete their migration at the beginning of November over to Solana, and their native token from Ethereum and Polygon to Solana. So very nice. Helium launching a $20 mobile phone plan. So they did their sort of big compressed NFT launch in the previous quarter, I think it was. So partnered with T-Mobile. Hive Mapper sort of continuing upgrading their sort of Google Maps alternative, ride sharing, and decentralized GPU networks. Payments as well. You had the Visa test, and USDC volume has been increasing. USDC have Circle have sort of flipped back and forwards between saying Solana is the official chain of USDC, and volume has now been sort of increasing over the last quarter, which is very good. It's actually overtaken Tether's volume on Solana in the last quarter, so that's very good. Lots of things going on at the hackathons as well, which is very good to see. Developers are still sort of very keen to be releasing things. Obviously, you do get a bit of a grant if you do well at these hackathons, so that is part of the incentive, of course. But yeah, looking very good. Then from the one in October last year. Yeah, lots of other developments which I won't go through sort of right now. You can have a look at the report if you're interested. But yeah, I thought that was a really good read. So since the ETFs were launched, we have, as I say, seen quite a pickup in Ethereum, and it did seem sort of pretty much on the day that they were approved, you had a huge amount of Ethereum usage. So it's not just sort of price buying on centralized exchanges. People have become sort of using the chain again, and it's down to a sort of all-time low of circulating supply. And you have seen the price follow in kind actually bottomed out during the week at 0.048, quite a bit under my sort of narrowing wedge line, and sort of has shot up really on the ETF approval, which is not what I was expecting. People sort of, I guess, anticipating the Ethereum ETFs now. You've got final deadline for the first one on those is May, so maybe people will start to think, if Bitcoin's approved, then maybe Ethereum can get approved, and it's rocketed up to almost 0.06. So maybe I won't make that trade after all. I was kind of hoping to sort of be getting in at 0.045 maybe on a sort of big spike low if we got a decent Bitcoin increase with no Ethereum increase. But yeah, we'll see. So maybe I'll just let that run, and it's sort of come back into that wedge. Who knows? So the coins for the week is a very strange one. Bitcoin, you got down 2.8% for the week. That's why it's sort of only slightly higher than last week, despite the ETFs getting approved. It's really been one for the altcoins. So Solana's up 3% for the week. Ethereum's up 13%, which is very nice. Link is up 11.5%. Cardano up 4%, XRP up 1.5%. Power Ledger, that was actually quite a good sell, and I need to reorder these because it's certainly not up there. That was 52% down for the week, so it was sort of, as I was thinking, a bit of a pump and dump. Well, maybe not a pump and dump, just a sort of spike in liquidity on a very sort of low market cap coin. Yeah, maybe should have sold more than a third, but that's always hindsight. I'm not buying back in. I'll just sort of leave it there to run. Matic up just under 5%. Internet Computer actually is the outperformer for the week. It's 15% up. Audius just under over 1%. Quant is completely flat. Gala is up 0.3%. Basic Attention Token flat, and VeChain up 2.5%. So yeah, very mixed week with some decent altcoin gains and Bitcoin down. So we'll have to see what happens sort of with a bit more volume on these ETFs. So leave your thoughts in comments below, how you guys are doing, if you're sort of excited about the ETF news, or if you're buying any altcoins, sort of anticipating gains now. So yeah, like and subscribe, and see you soon.